Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to revise the topic non-finite verbs. In non-finite verbs, we will revise gerund, infinitive and participle. As you have already know that infinitive have two types, bare infinitive and true infinitive. Gerund is actually formed along with the verb and adding ing, and participle has three types: present participle, past participle and perfect participle. So without further ado, let's get started. Yes, first we will talk about gerund. A gerund is a noun made from a verb by adding ing. The gerund form of the verb read is reading. You can use a gerund as a subject, the complement, or the object of a sentence. Let's take an example. Reading helps you learn English. Here gerund is used as a subject of a sentence. Her favorite hobby is reading. Here we are extending a sentence and it is a complement of sentence. I enjoy reading. Here gerund is used as an object of a sentence. As we know about the function of gerund, the gerund always function as a noun in one sentence. But here in these examples, you have learned that where we place gerund in one sentence is as a subject of sentence, complement of sentence and an object of sentence. Now let's talk about infinitive. An infinitive is the to form of the verb. The infinitive form of learn is to learn. You can also use an infinitive as the subject, the complement or the object of a sentence. Here again where we use infinitive in one sentence. So infinitive comes in the beginning of the sentence. To learn is important. Here infinitive is used as a subject of sentence. The most important thing is to learn. Here infinitive used as a complement of sentence and we use in the middle of the sentence. In the third case, he wants to learn. Here infinitive is used as an object of sentence. You have learned about infinitive also, that infinitive functions in one sentence as a verb. Or in one sentence it functions as a verb or another verb, because we already have one main verb in a sentence. But if we are talking about infinitive, the full type of infinitive, so it is basically formed with two, always with the first form of verb, that is main form of verb. We never ever form infinitive with the past tense form of verb, means verb, second form of verb or third form of verb. Remember and keep in mind. Now let's talk about the gerund and infinitive differences in one sentence. Both gerund and infinitive can be used as the subject or the complement of a sentence. However, as subjects or complements, gerunds usually sounds more like normal spoken English, whereas infinitive sounds more abstract. Means to say, gerund is commonly used in normal spoken English that we understand, but infinitive sounds more abstract. In the following sentences, gerund sounds more natural and would be more common in everyday English. Infinitive emphasize the possibility or potential for something and sound more philosophical. If this sounds confusing, just remember that 90% of the time you will use a gerund as the subject or complement of a sentence. Let's take an example. Here are some examples. Let's see. Learning is important. It is a normal subject. To learn is important. It is an abstract subject. It is very less common. Means to say, the first example is an example of gerund, which is used in common English and spoken English. But in the second case, to learn is important. It is an abstract subject. Means we use it in less common. Means to say, we didn't use more infinitive like this. To learn is important. Now see the next example. The most important thing is learning. This is a very normal complement, and here it is used gerund as a subject object place, and if you are talking about the infinitive, it is also used in a complement, but it is less commonly used. It is an abstract complement, you can say so. So we use it like this. The most important thing is to learn. So this is the difference between the gerund and infinitive. The word to is frequently used with an infinitive, as I have told you many times in class that we always add to along with infinitive when we are using full infinitive form. But it is not an essential part or sign of it. When an infinitive is used without the marker to, it is called a bare infinitive. Sometimes that we never ever use to with our infinitive, and we just use the first form of verb. So in this case we call this a bare infinitive. Now let's see that what are the uses of the bare infinitive. The infinitive is used without to after certain verbs. It is sure that after these verbs we use infinitive forms like bid, like let, like make, see, hear, need, dare, etc. Let's take an example. I bade him go. Now here in this case, we will not write not I bade him to go. Means we didn't use full infinitive form. Instead of using full infinitive form, we use bare infinitive form. I bade him go. Now see the second example. Let him sit there. We will never ever say like this, that not let him to sit there. In the third example, she made me cry. Not she made me to cry. I heard him sing a lovely song. We will never ever say like this, not I heard him to sing a lovely song. So it means to say we understand that with certain verbs we actually use bare infinitive after that, and the bare infinitive is also used after the verbs like will, would, shall, should, may, might, can, could and must. You have learned in your book that these words are called the moral verbs. So whenever we are using the moral verbs, bare infinitive is used after the verbs, not the full infinitive form. Now here let's take an example. I will wait. You must obey my instructions. You can speak 5 languages. You should come to school in time. It means to say that we always use bare infinitive after our moral verb, like in these cases. Okay, the infinitive is also used, means the bare infinitive. It is also used without to after had better, would rather, sooner, then and rather than. So these are some particular words that we use bare infinitive with them. Let's take an example. You had better ask his permission. So after had better, we use simply ask, not to ask. Second example, I would rather die than surrender. Not I would rather to die than surrender. We will not use full infinitive form. Instead, we use bare infinitive. He would rather play than work. So here are some particular words that after that we use bare infinitive, like had better, would rather, sooner than and rather than. Now what is the difference between a gerund and a present participle? Number of times this question arises that what is the difference between a gerund and a present participle? So both a gerund and a present participle come from a verb, as you know, and both end in ing. However, each has a different function. If you talk about gerund, a gerund acts like a noun, while a present participle acts like a verb or adjective. Let's take an example of snowboarding. Snowboarding is a type of a game that basically we do on snow. So let's take an example. Snowboarding can be a gerund or a present participle. When snowboarding is a gerund, it acts like a noun. When we use snowboarding as a gerund, so it acts like a noun. It can be a subject, an object, the object of a preposition, or a subject complement. You have already learned about the placement of gerund in your book, the position of gerund. So this is how we use snowboarding. Now see the first case, that snowboarding is a winter sport. Yes, of course, that snowboarding is a winter sport. So here snowboarding is coming in the place of the subject. Or I love snowboarding. So snowboarding is sports, I love it, so it comes in the place of object. Or in the third example, I'm excited by snowboarding. So here snowboarding is basically after by we use, so that's why it is an object of a preposition, because by is a preposition. And only one popular sport is snowboarding. So here we are actually given a complement, extending your sentence. How? That one popular sport, there is another popular sport, and that is snowboarding. So we are given a complement, we are extending our sentence, and here snowboarding is used as a subject complement. So this is, I think you people understand it very well. So this is the snowboarding, how we use in gerund. Now let's talk about when we are talking about snowboarding used in a present participle. When snowboarding is a present participle, it is part of a continuous verb tense. First, you all know about it, that if you are talking about present participle, so it is a verb tense form. Right now, let's take an example. The athlete is snowboarding. Here we are using is snowboarding. Obviously, this is a tense we have used here, and it is called a present continuous tense. Or he was snowboarding yesterday afternoon, or was snowboarding. So it is used as a past continuous tense. Or tomorrow, my friends and I are going to be snowboarding. Are going to be snowboarding. Here it is used as a future continuous tense. So this is a big difference between participle and gerund, present participle and gerund. That in present participle it is basically used in all the three forms of present continuous, past continuous, and future continuous. Now there is another usage of present participle which I have taught you in class, that unlike a gerund, obviously gerund acts like a noun, but a present participle can act like an adjective that modifies a noun or follows the be verb. Now let's see. The word exciting is a present participle used as an adjective to modify a noun or to follow the verb to be. Now let's take an example. The exciting ride made the people scream. Here we are describing the ride, and what kind of ride it is. It is quite exciting. It means to say here exciting, it is an adjective, and ride is your noun. So here basically your present participle used in an adjective form, and it modifies a noun. And what verb it follows? It follows to be verb, you can say so. So now let's see another case. People enjoyed the exciting roller coaster. Again here, people enjoyed the exciting roller coaster. The roller coaster, it is a noun here, and your participle is used as an adjective here. So it means to say participle acts as an adjective in one sentence too. Now in the third case, the roller coaster is exciting. Obviously it is a very exciting ride. Here you can say so that after to be verb we add an adjective, that is exciting. And how we are describing the roller coaster? It is exciting. Means you have adjective along with your noun. Means you modify a noun. You tells more about that noun like this. In the first case, the exciting ride. In the second case, the exciting roller coaster. In the third case, the roller coaster is exciting. So it comes in different places, the position in one sentence, but actually what is the function of your present participle? It always acts like an adjective in one sentence, and it to modify a noun or to follow the verb to be. This is basically the function of present participle. Unlike the gerund, obviously if you are talking about gerund, so it function in one sentence and act as a noun, and now you people understand the difference. Now there is also a question all the time, that how do you know if it's a participle or the gerund? The easiest way to tell the difference between the gerund and the present participle is to look for the helping verb be. If you find a form of be followed by the ing form, that's the present participle. For example, they have been working for 4 hours. If the ing form begins the sentence or follows a verb or preposition, that's the gerund. For example, playing soccer is a lot of fun. So this is the difference between that we can easily identify in the difference, and we identify, understand the difference between a participle and a gerund, and we can easily means to say came to know this, that which sentence we have used gerund or in which sentence we use the participle. Now this is all about the revision of gerund, infinitive and the participle. And the homework is that you have to practice exercises of gerunds, infinitive and participles for your upcoming test of month of November. Hope you have a good day. Thank you so much and Allah Hafiz.